Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, I want to take you to a crisis that is going on in ODM. This crisis has come at a time where William Ruto poached 4 leaders of ODM.
I am not ODM. The party chairman is not ODM. ODM is a movement of people, over 5 million Kenyans who are registered members of ODM. And there is a way in which organizations such as ODM make a decision. Let me tell you, Trevor, why we were insisting on having a conversation before any of these things happen. Because right now, like Sifuna, I eat, dream, and leave ODM. If today I find myself seated next to Kindki in cabinet, to discuss what are we going to implement, because a conversation would have happened in which we would have agreed that first of all the president is going to rip up his bottom-up manifesto, and then we are going to rip up our Azimio manifesto. We come up with a document that encompasses the beliefs and the priorities of both political parties. What manifesto are these people going to implement? I heard the president very clearly yesterday. He said they are going to implement the bottom-up transformative manifesto. And I can assure you, Mbadi has no idea what bottom-up means.
This is not something that is making people happy, especially the youths who are saying that they never expected that ODM would sanitize UDA. But the question is it true that ODM is sanitizing UDA? Or let me just rephrase it this way. Is it true that Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto came to a political truce and a behind-the-scene dialogue that saw them form the government of national unity? Kindly like this video. It's so important if you like this video, and I'm so grateful for everyone who has been liking our videos. I don't take that for granted. Subscribe to our channel if you've not subscribed before, and to existing subscribers, thank you so much for your support. Now, before you get further on this analysis, please, I want you to listen to this video of what Edwin Sifuna said, because Edwin Sifuna is saying if at all what people are talking about is true, then him as a Secretary General will resign. But before he resigns, he says that those 4 individuals who have agreed to take up those positions as per the nominations by William Ruto, they are supposed to tender the resignations. I think that is what should happen. Because when Prime Cabinet was appointed or nominated for that slot, he had to resign as a party leader of ANC and allowed the Lamu governor to take over the helm of ANC. That is what happened. So the same should happen to John Mbadi. The same should happen to Joe. The same should happen to Opio and I. The same should happen to Oparanya. Now that is now the litmus test. So just watch this video.
There is no way Raila presents 4 names, 2 from one region, in a party as diverse as ODM. I am telling you, this is not a decision of Raila Odinga. It is a decision made between these members and the president himself. Number 4, you would have to show me a document signed by the party leadership themselves that acknowledges or agrees that we are now going to go into a coalition with any other political party. In fact, I was very surprised after the election in South Africa. I never knew or expected that the DA would have conversations with the ANC to form a government of national unity. But it happened. But it was a formal conversation. I have met members of the DA, and they have told me the process they went through, that these people, these 2 political parties, hold different views on different things. For instance, on the question of taxation, you know our position as ODM, that in fact we cannot continue to lump taxes on Kenyans in the current economic environment. We have a different view. I would have preferred a situation where you sit down and you say the country is in a crisis. We would want a way out. What are your thoughts? And then after that, you go to the question of, now that we have agreed this is what we need to do, who are the people who you believe would best help us to achieve this? In the absence of such a process, Trevor, it is difficult for you to bind a party like ODM and say that this is a decision of ODM. I will never keep quiet, Trevor, because luckily for me, even when I am not SG of ODM, I am the senator of Nairobi. I can very well come to this show to speak for the people of Nairobi. If it is deemed anywhere else that I do not speak for ODM, I will not be SG of ODM forever. And I believe that in the party there is enough talent for people to be able to do this job. I will not hang on to the position of ODM if my views are diametrically opposed to the position of the party. In fact, Trevor, I have made it clear to the leadership of the party that if I am made or we are made to vacate the position that we took, that this decision was not a decision of the party, then my position as SG will be untenable. I am ready to make that position very clear. But I cannot be seen to be a madman just saying things that I do not know. Okay. When a member of parliament who attended a PG, misrepresents what happened in that PG, what is supposed to happen to that member of parliament? Because the party constitution still says that I'm the spokesperson of the party. Okay. And I have never misrepresented the position of the party or misrepresented the position of any organ of ODM. Okay. So what I want to say here, Trevor, that I have lived my life. I have pledged to always be truthful to the people of Kenya, the people who elected me. I will never come here to give you a position other than a position that I believe to be true. So lastly, Trevor, you have a situation where you have 4 members of ODM in a cabinet of 22, you know? And there was a very interesting gentleman that I met during the Lekomo dialogue called David Coltart. He is currently the mayor of Bulawayo. And he was telling us a story of when they got into a government of national unity in Zimbabwe during the time of Morgan Tsvangirai and what was his name? Mugabe. And these guys, they used to be called for cabinet meetings. They are told the cabinet meeting is going to start at 10. But because they are not insiders in government, by the time they arrive at 10 for cabinet meetings, the real cabinet meeting ended at 9. And then you are just there being told, oh, your PS will brief you or whoever will brief you.
Very well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the position of Edwin Sifuna. So let me ask you this. Do you think Edwin Sifuna is telling the truth? Or do you think Edwin Sifuna is simply trying to defend Raila Amolo Odinga? What is your position on this statement from Edwin Sifuna? Just go below in the comment section and offer your reaction to that. So let's delve into the statements by Edwin Sifuna. But first, I will give you an example of what took place in 2014. So allow me to take you back to the first year of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's tenure. Now, Nkaiseri was a member of ODM. And you know, Nkaiseri came from the Rift Valley, I think the Ma community. Now, being one of the ODM members, very strong member, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta decided to nominate him for the post of Cabinet Secretary for Internal Security.
The 65-year-old retired soldier.
I, Joseph Kasaine Nkaiseri, being appointed a Cabinet Secretary of Government of Kenya. And
the intention was to replace Joseph Olelenko, who back then was deemed to be unfit for that position. So Olelenko was replaced by Nkaiseri. So what happened thereafter is that Nkaiseri found himself at a crisis with the ODM, because back then there were demonstrations which used to be organized by ODM. So he found himself in the position that Kindki has found himself during the demonstrations of Azimio and the demonstration of the Gen Zs. The only difference between Kindki and Nkaiseri's time is that the way police have treated demonstrators this time round is not good as opposed to the way it used to happen back then. But either way, there was tear gases regardless. So I'm just trying to understand what Edwin Sifuna is saying here, because Edwin Sifuna has made a point, a very strong point. And I think that's what I was saying. It's like 70 to 80%. I trust what he said. Because even back then, Raila had not okayed the appointment. But Nkaiseri went ahead and received the appointment, the nomination, and accepted the nomination, and then ended up being the person who was used to fight ODM. So even for this case, it could be possible that Raila distanced himself from the nominations, but these people had already indicated that they were ready to work with the government because they were going to offer solutions to the government. So there are two things in these nominations here, ladies and gentlemen. Either William Ruto is targeting to have these people sanitize his government. 1. 2, maybe there's a political truce behind the scene between Ruto and Raila. Nobody knows about what was discussed. But the online or the public perception is that Raila is supposed to be AUC chair, and as a result, Raila must play the statesman. You see, the only thing, I think I agree with the Raila Odinga's position, partly. Of course, we don't want him to work with the government. We don't. We want him to be in opposition and leave the government to work alone and mess on its own. But one thing that we can't run away from is the fact that Raila needs an endorsement from this same regime. And the same regime is giving Raila Odinga one of the biggest challenge, whether he's supposed to defend the people or work according to the requirements of AUC, because AUC is looking at Raila Odinga and realizing that Raila must show us that he will indeed deal with the instability. Is he the kind of person who's going to fuel instability or deal with instability to bring about stability? So those are some of the concerns which Raila has in his own domain. That's why you find that last time there was this word that I don't know came from Dubai, I don't know where, but there was talk that he had said that if at all this issue of GNU or the protests is going to be used against him, aonekana kwamba yeye anataka kusanitize serikali, then he's ready to leave the AUC position. But you see, that was just a statement which was made. We can as well say that the government is dilly-dallying here when it comes to submission of Raila Odinga's name into the AUC. We can say that is the case because we have not gotten a confirmation whether those nominations have been, whether his nomination has been forwarded. Because we also know that Raila must get an endorsement from William Ruto. He needs William Ruto's vote, as well as he needs his name to be forwarded by the government. So like for the case of Somalia, Fauzia's name was not forwarded by the government of Somalia, and the government of Somalia advised her to stand down. That is what happened. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, Raila could have been forced by circumstances to be a peacemaker and to try to find a way of solving the crisis. So Raila could have found himself in that kind of crisis. Many will blame him, but at the end of the day, that is the position that he had to take. So, but we are not sure whether it's party to the nomination, because as far as we're concerned, Edwin Sifuna, who is the Secretary General, is saying that there was no communication from the office of the Secretary General of ODM that these names are the ones who are which are supposed to be forwarded to the Kenya Kwanza for consideration. So since that did not happen, I think Edwin Sifuna is right to say that is not the position of ODM. It's an individual position. They have a right to decline the nomination, by the way, if they are true to the party. So that explains why Edwin Sifuna is saying that the only option left is for them to resign from ODM. Ili ODM isibewe lawama. That is what Edwin Sifuna is trying to address here, ladies and gentlemen. So perhaps if you're watching this video and do not subscribe, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until we catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.